Good evening and welcome. Thanks very much for tuning in here on NDTV. I'm Padmasha Joshi, and on every story that matters, the story that everyone is talking about, issues that really matter to you, the buck stops here. Creative freedom, but only targeted at a few. When the trailer for an OTT film, Ghooskhor Pandat, dropped just a few days ago, all hell broke loose. There were protests online first, and now they have trickled down to the streets as well. The grouse is a familiar one. Disrespectful portrayal of the Pandit or Brahmin community. Incensed protesters said that this film was trying to perpetuate a stereotype against Brahmins. A petition has now been filed in the Delhi High Court over the derogatory title of the film. The petition also seeks a stay on the release of this film. The petition says that the very title of this movie associates the word Pandit or Pandat. It's called Pandat in the film. The Pandit word is associated with corruption and bribery, which is per se defamatory and stigmatizing. After this massive outrage, now an FIR has also been filed against the film's director and the team members on the instructions of the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister. This FIR says that the content of the film has hurt public sentiments and has disturbed social harmony. With the backlash intensifying, with a plea in the Delhi High Court, with an FIR being filed, now the filmmakers had to step in for damage control. The promotional material for the film was taken down. Both the director and the lead actor issued individual clarifications. The director, Neeraj Pandey, said that this film is a fictional cop drama where Pandit is only used as a colloquial name for a fictional character. It is not directed at any one community, leave alone Brahmins. Nonetheless, now the center has intervened. The teasers have been pulled off. Social media content related to the film has also been taken down. Senior leaders of the BJP have said that Durbhavna, or the wrongful portrayal of any community, including Brahmins, is not acceptable at any cost, and neither is an attempt to show down any section of society. But here comes the funny part. You would think that this is only about the BJP or the so-called right-wingers, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, the perpetually outraged, or what is known as the Hindutva Brigade on social media. But wait till you see just how fraught politically this entire issue is. A surprise element cropped up. Guess who? Former Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Mayawati, she tweeted perhaps the most strong response to this film. She said, and I quote, "It's a matter of great sorrow and concern that not only in UP alone in recent times, but now even in films, Pandit is being portrayed as a bribe taker and so on, leading to the insult and disrespect of them across the country, which has currently spread intense anger across the entire Brahmin community. Our party strongly condemns this. The central government should immediately impose a ban on such caste indicative films." She's in fact used a Hindi word in her tweet. She said, "ऐसी जाति सूचक जो भी terms होते हैं, which you basically talk about or talk down to any one caste, this film should be banned." Now imagine this. This is a party which at one time, or at least the party that preceded the BSP, they had the slogan "Tirak Tarazu aur Talwar unko maro joote char," and today Mayawati is the one voice who is saying this insult of Brahmins is not tolerable. This film should be banned. That alone should give you an indication of how now every single political party doesn't want to burn its fingers in a politically charged atmosphere. Such is the pushback.
हमारे पास जो भी ऑप्शंस हैं, हम उन ऑप्शंस को लेकर साथ चल रहे हैं और कानूनी प्रक्रिया के तहत अगर ऐसा कोई भी गलत कंटेंट अपलोड होता है या होने वाला होगा तो बिल्कुल उसके खिलाफ हम लोग कानूनी कार्रवाई लड़ेंगे।
ऐसा है कि ऐसे अनुचित, असंवैधानिक, अमानवीय नाम से वेब सीरीज निकालना या उस तरह के नाम से कोई और चीज़ें चालू करना, यह घोर निंदनीय है, अशोभनीय है, असंवैधानिक है।
अब लोग सजग हो गए हैं। फिल्म प्रोड्यूसर को चाहिए कि कोई ऐसा नाम ना दे जिससे किसी को आहत पहुंचे।
And that's why not just us, a lot of people today are asking, creative liberty is amazing. We are for creative speech, make no mistake about it, but It's slightly problematic, isn't it, when there are caveats applied? Are these free speech absolutists only free enough to lampoon the Pandats? Joining us on the debate today is Karan Verma, political analyst, national spokesperson of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. Amitosh Parikh also is with us. Nasir Abdullah, actor and a very outspoken actor, that is joining us on the show. Why are you already looking so angry, Mr. Abdullah? The show hasn't even started yet. Smile in the beginning. You are preemptively outraged. Vivek Srivastava is with us along with
You are reading the wrong message.
Sorry? Sir, I have barely even said anything. He's already rolling his eyes. But I will start with Karan Verma, who is with me here in the studio. Karan Verma, is it a little too much, to have your FIRs filed, seeking a ban? Are we getting hurt too easily? A lot of people are saying, look, what's going on? We were such a tolerant country. We're becoming into a Hindu Pakistan.
Like really, Padmaja, the sad part, the flip part of our great society has been that we've taken abuses on Pandit and actually normalized it as if nothing really has happened. I remember in 1975, there was a film by the name Ponga Pandit, which literally means a stupid person, and they've attached Pandit to it, Ponga Pandit. And we've seen those slurs, by the way, in JNU and other places. And that film went on to become a decent hit, just so you know. So we've normalized this. Do we have the guts in our great country to say something like Ghooskhor Maulvi? And I'm not in favor of such stereotypes. They should never happen with some other community as well. But just because a Pandit happens to be a soft target, you can come up with these films. You can depict them in the worst manners. And that's been going on. You take, for example, Mother India. Our first entry to the Oscars. How did we depict Pandits and Thakurs in that film? We showed them as if they are greedy or they are after a woman. I mean, we've always depicted them like this. In fact, Mother India was made to counter a book written by Catherine Mayo by the same name, Mother India, which Mahatma Gandhi said depicted Hinduism in the worst possible way. But guess what we did? When Mehboob Khan made a film, he made it even worse. He made sure that the stereotype is further reinforced, and in fact, it becomes our official entry to the Oscars. There are Harvard studies. There are so many studies which say, oh, Brahmins are greedy. There has been a Brahminical order. In this country, we've had 3 unprovoked genocides of the Brahmins, be it in Tamil Nadu, be it in Kashmir, or be it after Mahatma Gandhi's assassination, the Chitpavan Pandits. What else do we want? And the BJP is also no less. We've had the UGC, where they've assumed that yes, the Brahmins, the Pandits are the oppressors. It's the upper caste, so-called upper caste, which is by default the oppressor. Thank God for the Supreme Court, they were rolled back. So it's become so normal. So yes, any reaction to it will seem like an overreaction.
But the thing is that now it seems to have become a trend. Everyone is now getting retrospectively hurt about something that happened in 1975. All these years we were told but Mother India is like, like a classic film. We were told to watch Mother India. Now in 2026, you're angry with Mother India also.
Everybody's ought to be angry with it. And in fact, at that time also, there were huge protests about that. The way they had portrayed Sukhi Lala and the way they had shown a Pandit who's greedy, even after the cremation, he's greedy for what he'll get in return. So these are the, stereotypes enforced by the likes of Vivek Srivastava's ancestors. The entire left cabal that used to dominate cinema and IPTA and the Progressive Writers Association, it's that cabal that has reinforced this stereotype. We are only awakening to it, just as in history. We are awakening to the brutality of the Mughals. Similarly, we are awakening to these stereotypes.
You are angry in advance with Vivek Srivastava, who hasn't even spoken a word. So answer for your ancestors, Vivek Srivastava. Why did you demonize, Pandits and others in the films all of these years? And now there is a pushback. Now people are waking up. They're not going to take it lying down.
Yes, nobody is waking up. Basically, this is an anti-reservation lobby. And the fact is, Karan Verma Sahab, I respect him a lot. He's a very well-read man and author also. इनका बस चले तो ये फिल्म का नाम क्या रखते हैं आपके हिसाब से? अल्फा, बीटा, गामा, you are not supposed to name anyone. अरे इसी समाज में से there are heroes, इसी समाज में से there are villains. If you make a picture on a gangster called Om Prakash Srivastava, it is not an attack on the Caste community. If you make a movie on Haji Mastan, it's not an attack on the Hajis and the Muslims of this nation. If you show a terrorist in a movie who's wearing a skull cap and he has got a beard, an Islamic beard, it is not an attack on Muslims. Please try to have a broader view. The point is not that. The point is, yes, over centuries, there has been a domination of the Savarns over the Dalits and the backwards. And if you don't agree with me, you say Ambedkar was wrong. You say reservation should not be given. You say that the articles in Constitution which profess equality have no meaning. और इक्वालिटी की बात तभी हो पाएगी जब आप इनको उठाएंगे. अब आप कह रहे हैं साहब 90% हिंदूज हैं लेकिन हिंदू प्रताड़ित है. दिस इज वेक. 1947 में वी वर अप्रॉक्सिमेटली द हिंदू कम्युनिटी वाज 90% and today it is 85, 86%, 84% maybe. And you are trying to tell me that we are the ones who are being challenged by God knows whom.
Okay, so you are quoting Ambedkar to say that, naturally Brahmins have been the oppressors, they have been privileged, hence all of these references were made. Who was writing books that they are also
Ghooskhor? I'm trying to say,
तो घूसखोर भी, चलो वो ऑपरेसर तो थे ही थे, घूसखोर पे भी कोई किताब लिखी हुई है विवेक श्रीवास्तव?
No, all नहीं, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा. मैं कह रहा हूं there are good Brahmins, there are bad Brahmins, there are good Castes, there are bad Castes, there are good Baniyas, there are bad Baniyas. Good and bad people exist in every community. So therefore,
but you didn't name every community, Vivek Srivastava. You named good Brahmins, bad Brahmins, good Baniyas, bad Baniyas.
And it is a fictional.
But you only named one community.
Yes.
You actually didn't name all the communities. You just named Hindu castes.
No, why not?
Very, very
there are
interesting.
so many good movies on the Brahmins also.
Only Hindu different castes are good and bad, huh?
Hindu caste.
Very, very clever, Vivek Srivastava. Yes, go on. 5 seconds, Karan Verma. Then I'm going to Amitosh Parikh. Yes.
Our great friend Vivek Srivastava just said, कैसे हिंदू प्रताड़ित हो सकते हैं? वो तो majority में, minority पे ही हो सकता है जुल्म. ब्राह्मण majority में है या minority में है? विवेक श्रीवास्तव, जिनको आपने oppressors बोल रखा है, minority में, majority में Brahmins?
Yes, because over the centuries, the day you remove the reservation in the temples and allow other communities to become the pujaris, then it's all going to be equal. They are still ruling the roost. उनके बिना ना कोई पैदा होता है, ना मुंडन होता है, ना खाना होता है, ना मौत होती है इस मुल्क के अंदर. They are still the ones who rule the inner households and how a life is supposed to be led.
अरे सर, अभी तो घूसखोर की बात हो रही है. Why was this stereotype of घूसखोर brought in? Why was the stereotype of घूसखोर brought in?
It is just a fictional story.
Okay, it is just a fictional story.
It is not stereotype. It is just a fictional story where the character happens to be a
the character happens to be a Pandit. Is just a name. It's just a name, Amitosh Parikh. Again, it's a fictional story. It has got nothing to do with anyone dead or alive, and it's not even Pandit, leave alone Brahmin. They're saying Pandat.
Thank you so much, Padmaja. Now they have a controversy and outrage, a protest when Himmat Biswa shared a name of Mia Muslim, depicting to be Bangladeshi infiltrators, right? But they have a controversy and differentiation and coming here to defend, no, it's not a Pandit, it's a Pandit. Then I come forward with an argument, the Pandit is being Pandit only, called as a Pandit in Punjab, so they are Punjabi Brahmins. Now coming forward, they see everyone who is against nation as a freedom of speech and expression. For them, Sharzil Iman was just doing a chakka jam, but for them, Brahman is a Ghooskhor. For them, everyone who is against in India are all secular, but Brahmin, they are Ghooskhor. And what they are calling Brahmins as a Ghooskhor. I'll give you a name, what Brahmins has done for the Bharat and what Brahmins has come forward for this country. We have given us scientists, Aryabhatta, Charaka, Sushruta, Jogesh Pandit, Varamira, Brahmagupta, Ramanunja, C.V. Raman, they all were Brahmins. Coming forward, Rani Lakshmibai, Subramanian Swati, Vasudev, Vanchit Man, BVS Iyer.
Why could the Dalits not do that?
All are Brahmins.
Why could the other communities not do that in this country?
All were Brahmins. Wait, Vivek Srivastava, let me complete. Now they all were Brahmins, but for them they were only Ghooskhor.
No, I'm saying, आप कह रहे हैं ब्राह्मणों ने सब कुछ किया, बाकी communities क्यों नहीं कर पाई?
I didn't interrupt.
बाकी communities क्यों नहीं कर पाई, sir?
For them, Padmaja, for them who were being accused and red carpeted for Merachipi massacre and Bijoy Setu, for them Brahman will always be a Ghooskhor. They will never be considered to be a good person. I give you some hints. Vastav, Brahmin shown as a Tilak. Singham, Brahmin shown as a villain. Sarkar, Brahmin shown as a villain. Oh my God, Brahmin shown as a villain. But everyone who is other than Brahmin considered to be a secular. There was nothing. Brahmin has been targeted and bracketed with 3 words. Ghooskhor, Brahmin, Ghooskhor, Munim, Havas ke Pujari, and coming forward on another point, Ram Teri Ganga Meli, where Brahmin has been shown molesting a woman and saying Om Namah Shivaya. Now coming on another point, Toilet Ek Prem Pratap, Brahmin as a villain. Mother India, Brahmin as a villain. Akbar Anthony, Brahmin was a villain, but father are always considered to be a good. Coming on a Dushman movie, Brahmin has been shown as doing a molestation. Mathrubhumi, Pranjit Jagannath has been shown as a cruel person. Oh my God, and PK, Brahmin has been shown as a corrupt person. Annapurna, Brahmin girl has been shown eating a beef. Leela, Hindu Raj considered to be a Sampradayik and communal. A suitable boy, Hindu and Muslim and Brahmin shown as an objectionable sin in temple. I consider them. They are not oppressors. They are the being soft target of the Bollywood, where in 16, 17s and 18 they were on an ideology of soft Islamophobia, and in 2000 they vehemently started using Islamophobia for Brahmin being a soft target, and freedom of speech and expression just become a tool to eradicate and to curtail them whenever they want and wish.
Okay, Nasir Abdullah, it carried on for a very, very long time, and it has happened from the 60s, 70s, and now the pushback is beginning. In fact, some examples have already been quoted by the panelists over here. I would like to give you a few more examples of the films and how they have caricaturized, if not villainized, people of a certain community, Brahmins in particular, and Hindus as a whole. So let's take you through some of those examples as well. Oh My God, of course, is a film that has been quoted again and again. Then Amir Khan's film is also something that has been quoted time and again. So here are the examples. Oh My God came in 2012, Akshay Kumar starrer, and it showed Hindu priests as greedy and exploitative. Then there was, of course, PK, which starred Amir Khan in 2014. There was huge outrage. There were protests at that time because Hindu deities were shown to be mocked in that film. Then you had the film coming after just a few years, 2019, Ayushmann Khurrana starrer, Article 15, which was accused of showing upper caste Hindu society as oppressors. Similarly, just a year later, you had a film in 2021 where in Tandav, Lord Ram was mocked. Again, there were protests. The argument is, sir, that now this is the last straw that has broken the camel's back, and they're saying, bhai, we are hurt, we have the right to protest. You simply cannot tell us that we are intolerant because we're saying we do not appreciate being insulted.
Yeah, okay. So I don't quite agree with you on a couple of issues, but one thing I'll say from the very beginning, and please don't interrupt me because I'm going to state all the facts, nothing from my own imagination, if you can help it. So if any of the Sangatans, any of the groups, you know, the Hindu priests and all are against the name because somehow it seems to taint the name of the Brahmins or the Pandit, withdraw it. I have no issues. I have no issues if the title stays or it goes. I would have no issue if it were a Maulana, Ghooskhor Maulana, or a Ghooskhor like a priest who's a Christian. It doesn't matter. Now you seem to, there's a gentleman who was harping about the Mother India thingy, where there is an incident.
His name is Karan Verma, yes.
Wanting to satisfy whatever. So there were two more. It was a brilliant film. I saw it years ago and I could see it again. So yes, there was an incident where somebody and the Sahukar, the owner of the granary, he wants the mother of the heroes or whatever to go to bed, you know, with him and all that stuff. So these things happen, but nobody mentions that Nargis shoots her son while he is riding away because he is behaving adharmically. He has sort of become evil. So she shot him. She shot him dead. Nobody wants to talk about it. So I don't see how you guys gather from all these areas. PK was a brilliant film. Everybody loved it except some of the heads of some of the Sangatans who say, Hamare God is upset. It was not true. It was a beautifully actually big, and it also fit the story. There was no intent to make fun of the gods, but they turned it around. That's what they do a lot. These, you know, these folks, it fit the bill. Amir Khan is a Martian. He doesn't know. He understands a few things. He sees a poster and then he sees the same man actually performing. So he gets after him. It was funny as hell. No fun was made, but they, and the worst thing they say to be, and please remember, there are instances of godmen, and they're big names here. Ram Rahim, Asaram Uncle, you know, and there are host of others who have
not our uncles.
And it's been whatever. So there are some people who are evil and rapists, and they have been done for. And I don't know how it works. But
okay,
please,
just like beauty lies on the eyes of the beholder, so does offense. Specifically, Mother India, Karan Verma. Karan Verma, then Amitosh, then I want to really open this up. Yes, Karan Verma.
First of all, the gentleman doesn't know. Can I make a point, please? The gentleman doesn't know the historical context of Mother India. When the novel Mother India by Catherine Mayo was printed, Ambedkar ji on Pakistan and the partition of India is on record saying this has dented Hinduism more than anything. Mahatma Gandhi said it's like an open drain. That is what it has done to us. And Mehboob Khan goes on to further reinforce the same stereotypes. Padmaja, is it a coincidence that Salim Javed have written 24 films? Out of that, in 22, we have Hindu villains, and the one film where they showed Pran in a negative light, there also he transforms. And he sings, Yari hai iman tera, yar meri zindagi. Is it just a coincidence that every time you take a dig at Hindu customs? I did not see in PK where they took a dig and they quoted excerpts from their holy books. Whereas in our case, the Vigrahas were dishonored. They said, "Arey, is idol se kya ho sakta hai? Arey, tumhare bhagwan ke isme aa sakte hain." We remember the film Diwar. The hero won't enter the temple, but Billa number 786 is all holy. So when you run that agenda, in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, you remember that little girl, she's a Hindu. She's shown to be Anjali Khanna, and she suddenly starts reading the namaz, and her namaz kubul ho jati hai and cheez ho jati hai. Is a Hindu going to read a namaz?
No, but are you saying that Salim Javed did this deliberately? Now,
100%.
Javed Sahab is also the person who has
I want to give some
written
history.
a Krishna bhajan, right? In Lagan, he wrote a bhajan for Lord Krishna
Javed
also.
Sahab
That's
is an
called balancing.
atheist.
That's called balancing.
Javed Sahab is an atheist.
I want to give some context. You've asked a very
Javed
good
Sahab
question.
is a non-believer.
Non-believer, yeah, right. Non-believer for convenience. He says, "I am an atheist Muslim."
Javed
This
is
is a
an
dichotomy,
atheist.
by the way. There is
I
nothing
know
like
him
atheist
personally.
Muslim. He says, "I am an atheist Muslim." Can there be an atheist? Atheist is guna in Islam. He doesn't know the basics. That's the problem. When you don't know the basics and you keep frantically moving your hands all over the place, you don't grasp things. That's the biggest problem. You know, Padmaja, you asked a valid question. Is this deliberate? Do you know how this entire film industry came about? It came about through the Progressive Writers Association, which later became IPTA. Who started it? Vivek's forefathers, Sajjad Zahir. He was the Communist Party secretary of Lucknow, who later went to Pakistan, by the way. He was thrown out from Pakistan, he and Sahir Ludhianvi, because their revolutions and all these things didn't work there. It was this Islamo-leftist agenda which gripped our film industry right from the first film, right from Alam Ara, which was the first talkie that was produced. There is a complete history to it. How these anti-Hindu agendas were pushed through this lefto-Islamist agenda. And this is the only country where you have an alliance between left and Islam, by the way.
Okay,
the Muslim League and the Communist Party.
Tehsil Poonawalla, so this has happened in a coordinated, planned fashion, according to Karan Verma, but now people are beginning to push back. People are beginning to see through it, and there are actual groups of people who sit there only analyzing what is being done through the film industry and calling them out, like what has happened to Ghooskhor Pandat.
And I wish them all the best. So like Karan said, there was a conspiracy that involved people kicked out from Pakistan to Javed Akhtar to everybody who decided that somehow we have to make movies, that we have the Hindus as villains. And now because this conspiracy has been exposed, we have movies where Muslims are villains. For example, I saw your very famous debate with Aditya Raj Kaul and others where they were Dhurandhar, where people were offended with Dhurandhar being a villain. And, you know, so look, you can make tomorrow movie Chakka Jam Imam for Shajil Imam. And believe me, if somebody says all the Imams are offended, I would stand up and defend that right for
You
the
should sponsor that film. You should produce that film. Chakka Jam Imam is a great title, by the way. It's an excellent title.
So I'm telling you, I will.
And please give all of us starring parts as well. We also want to do a little bit of Bollywood.
You and Karan should make a guest appearance where we'll do a 9 o'clock show debating the film on that. So, I mean, look, we can decide to be a country and a nation that's offended with everything. Or like Karan rightly said, it should not just be about one group. Let's have it about everybody. If somebody doesn't like a Kashmir Files, go ahead and make another movie. Somebody doesn't like a Kerala story, make it. Somebody doesn't like this movie, make another movie. But I want to make another point that my friend from the VHP said. He said something amazing. He said, just 30 seconds. And I think I want to take this debate here. He said, look, every time the Pandit is made the villain, even if it's an individual, the entire community is targeted. I completely agree with him. You'll be surprised, Padmaja. I actually agree with my friend from the BHP. Any Pandit insulted is every Pandit being insulted. Now, the BJP says Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, in my opinion, the greatest Pandit, the BJP doesn't like him, was corrupt, gave away land, and was also womanizing. Now, please, the ball's in your court.
You know, Tehseen, I am surprised you went to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. I thought you were going to say Pandit Rahul Gandhi also, because technically he says he's a Kashmiri Pandit as well. Oh, you know, I mean, I really don't want to. Okay, so Amitosh Parikh answered on that, but I think the most substantive point he made over there is, look at the film, since we're talking about the films. आप बनाइए चक्का जाम इमाम, nobody has a problem. You had धुरंधर, जहां पर जितने पाकिस्तानी मुसलमान थे उनको विलन दिखाया गया था. You had Kashmir Files, leave धुरंधर, there they are Pakistanis. Kashmir Files, where it was shown that Kashmiri Muslims are all villains. You had the film Padmavat, where a lot of people had objections that the character of Ranveer Singh, because he was playing Alauddin Khilji, was deliberately shown almost like an animal. You know, he's eating raw flesh, he is raping women, he's behaving in the most disgusting fashion because you wanted to stereotype Muslims in that way. So, this happens. It's creative freedom and it's not like सिर्फ पंडितों के साथ ही हो रहा है, सिर्फ ब्राह्मणों के साथ ही हो रहा है, मुसलमानों के साथ भी हो रहा है.
Were they not? Whether the Kashmir Files about Kashmir Pandits, are we not aware of 1984, 1990? Whether the film Padmavat, Alauddin Khilji were so romanticized, whether Akbar was so romanticized, or they were just not glorified invaders, or they are just Hindus like Ghaznavi and Lodhi, like Hamid Ansari recently said, were Hindus looters. Were they not? They were. But the thing is, when the truth has been shown to the public at last, always be considered and bracketed under the tag which is known as propaganda. Kashmir Files, propaganda. Kerala Story, propaganda. Bengal Files, propaganda. But see, what is the target is? We were so much aware of Chak De India. And Chak De India, Kabir Khan has been shown as so much of national patriotic and being targeted because of Muslim, of Islamophobia. In truth and reality, the name of the person was Ranjan Negi. And he's been shown as Kabir Khan. And then when India won the match, the songs come, which is too much being known to us, Tija Tera Rang Tha Main To. The meaning is, I was your third color. Saying Muslim being always been appeased because Kabir Khan was always been targeted as a befriend of Pakistan. In that movie, they have been shown that. Coming on another point, we have so much been taught as Kafirs in a melodious manner. Like I said to the Qawwali of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, I always consider them a thankless and hypocrite artist. Why? The one of the Qawwali of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan is, जब चले हैदर की तलवार जरा सी देर में मैदान भरा काफिरों की लाशों से. What is mean by? छाप तिलक सब छोड़ गए रे मैं तो तुझे नैना मिला के. So these all the Sufis has been considered to be melodious to us. Now coming on another point, Paresh Rawal in Oh My God released in September 2010 always offered come forward with a milk thing. This Akshay Kumar has always come forward with the Hindu Sanatan things. Now Diwar has already been taken, Chak De India has already been taken. We have been so seen and Main Hoon Na, Raghav has been so much been insulted where he killed an innocent Pakistani, but Pakistani was too much agitated to be a part of the peace talk. So that means it's all.
Can you answer my question? Amitosh, one line, please. Just answer my question. As this is an insult of all Pandits, the insult of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru is also an insult of all Pandits. Please answer that question. Is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru also that? Please. And all the things the BJP said, they got a book about him. By the way, saying that he was having an affair with Mrs. Mountbatten.
Question, we were so much aware that you were asking about Rahul Gandhi, but in 2017, Rahul Gandhi has already written in diary in Somnath that I am not an Hindu. So I believe the lineage should not call them Pandit until they stand for the Pandit.
Okay, Tehseen, and just to bring the debate back on track, I think it is quite clear that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru is being attacked for his politics, not so much for his identity. So I think we are taking the debate on a different track altogether. But Nasir Abdullah wants to respond. Nasir Abdullah, the distinction being made is about...
I have a solution for this.
Yes, go on, sir.
I have a solution for all this.
Solution oriented, yes.
And here is my deal. And please don't laugh at me. I'm sure you won't. I am saying that since this is the fourth time I am going on a channel to talk about it, and there were some guys saying you should ask us to get these guys to make films against the Muslims and their Sufi saints and their whatever religion. Here is the deal. Instead of us fighting around like 4 or 5 of the monkeys on screen, we can inform the Prime Minister that please do take action. And just like you had done the Notbandi, and this as well, make this sort of film bandi, end of the story. He can do it overnight. I don't see why we have to talk about it. And since the conspiracy has been exposed, that everybody is out to demean the Hindu Dharma for the past 59, 70 years, tell Mr. Modi, sir, could you please intervene and, you know, to crack your whip.
No, so actually there are guidelines. It's a good point. I know you're trying to be sarcastic and facetious. The point is that there are guidelines.
Tell Mr. Modi to do it.
And the censor board actually does have a number of rules which will pass all of these films by. But here is the catch. This is an OTT platform, and on OTT, those rules of the CBFC do not apply, and that is why this entire controversy, and that's why this entire conversation. I want to bring in Tausif Khan also.
But the Prime Minister can take very heavy action.
And which is why the promotional material has been taken off. And by the way, sir, let me remind you, like I underscored, this is not just the Prime Minister or the so-called right-wing loonies who are being lampooned by you, who are making these demands. Like I pointed out, you had Mayawati, who is a former Dalit Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. You have the Congress party today saying that it is wrong to hurt sentiments. Yeah, sure. That is the point, that when people start speaking back, when they make themselves heard, Mr. Abdullah, that is when the politicians, the filmmakers are forced to sit up and take notice. And surely that cannot be illegal, Tausif Khan.
I accept that, but about PK, it was very wrong to say all this.
Padmaja,
so that is your impression of the film. Somebody else may have
Padmaja, you see,
for example,
Padmaja,
yes, Tausif Khan.
Padmaja, filmmaking is an art. Padmaja, filmmaking is an art. Cinematography is an art. And you see, if politicians start making cinemas and films, then there will be no, cinematographic masterpiece. There will be propaganda masterpiece. There will be no storytelling. There will be peddling of lies. And films will be made in black and white because they hate green color. Therefore, unless any particular movie, any particular scene infringes upon any, any law, is offending any law, we should, politicians should restrain themselves from, including in those territory. If anyone's sentiment is hurt, and there is a statement by the filmmaker also that they're thinking about it, because after all, they want to tell their story to the people. And it is their prerogative, the title they want to choose, whether they want to bring the focus on the, the villain, or they want to bring the focus on the protagonist. You see, all those people who are objecting to the term Pandit, as Tehsin rightly said, they should also first object to Prime Minister every day calling Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru corrupt, because Ghooskhor means corrupt, Therefore, all day and night, the BJP abusing Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, calling him corrupt. They should first criticize Prime Minister.
It's funny. I love the fact, by the way, Tausif,
before anyone raises a demand for changing the name.
Politicians should not get into the business of films or whether films should be screened. You know that last year there was an unofficial ban on the screening of the Bengal Files in Kolkata? It couldn't be screened anywhere in Kolkata, even though there was no official ban. So I love it when people see on television. Do you know that same Bengal, Javed Akhtar wasn't allowed to just come participate in an event because some local radicals protested against Javed Akhtar. Why? Because he calls himself an atheist. You know, in the same West Bengal, Taslima Nasreen was driven out because there were protests outside her house saying, we will behead you.
Don't claim it to be a true incident from the past.
Sir, you said cinema is cinema, right? And politicians should get involved.
Fiction.
Why was there an official ban on the screening of the Bengal Files?
Cinema, you cannot claim historical facts and then tell lies.
But you can claim Ghooskhor Pandat.
Narrating a historical fact,
that is not even a historical fact. That's just a random stereotype.
The moment you are peddling lies, work of fiction is different.
But you cannot decide whether it's truth or lie, right?
The moment you make movies like...
How will you decide whether it's truth or lie? Whether the Bengal Files is right or not?
Of course, the people of the society will decide.
Are you the
historians have said that the movie speaks of lies.
चलिए आपने lie बोलिए तो lie.
Movie like Bengal Files and Kashmir Files does not contain the true facts.
No, you have decided lies to ban.
Incidents.
You have decided Ghooskhor Pandit creativity to chalega.
Historians have said
you have decided Bengal Files
historians
lies to ban.
On record have contradicted that movie.
Okay, Amitosh.
Bengal Files and Kashmir Files.
Kali has been shown.
They're not movies.
Kali has been shown.
They're not work of.
That was creativity according to them. That was creativity. Adi Purush, Lord Ram has been mocked. That is creativity according to them. Annapurna, a beef has been shown eaten by a Brahmin. Of creativity according to them. But I ask. Supreme Court of India in 1989, S. Ragaranjan, etc. versus P. Jagjeevan Ram on 30th March of 1989.
People in Bengal,
Supreme Court of India said, listen to me, Supreme Court of India said,
Northern Indian, in North India, people are Hindus are vegetarian, but in Bengal, Hindus are non-vegetarian. So you don't know. You don't know about India. You live in your own small world, like a frog in the well. You don't know. Bengali
Can I make my
Hindus
point?
eating
Not an
non-vegetarian
exposition on the
as much
eating habits of
like
people
the
of
Hindus
Bengal or otherwise.
Hindus
I am
of,
simply asking
India,
you. You
of
were
Northern
completely
India
caught
eating
out on the
vegetarian.
Bengal files. You were completely caught out on creative freedom when it comes to Javed Akhtar. We just had Mr. Abdullah, singing pains to Javed Akhtar, and that same Javed Akhtar wasn't allowed in your state, sir. He was hounded out. He was cancelled. Why? Because he's an atheist and he's not acceptable to the actual bigots who run riot in your state. Mr. Abdullah.
This is the way life works. This is the way life works, madam.
Had a discussion.
No big deal. So what?
He
How does
claims
life
himself to
work?
be an atheist.
Life works when you have actual threat to people's life and safety, but a peaceful protest by a bunch of people who say
It works
that
as
we are
you
not okay
said.
with Ghooskhor
It
Pandat.
works
That
as
is
you
intolerance.
said. It works as you said.
It works as how? As radicals taking to
I
the
don't know
streets
where you're
and
trying to
threatening the
trap
life
me.
and safety of an
I don't know what you
individual.
are trying to do, but I'm just explaining. Things go haywire. That's why I said, request the Prime Minister to take action. It'll be done. We won't have to sit here.
We cannot be so facetious because, and I do this every year, because we have forgotten that there is still a woman. We sit here on TV and we say, life happens, things go haywire. You know how haywire things went for a woman named Nupur Sharma? Because she said something on TV which led to bloody protests across our country. 2 men were killed as a result. They were beheaded. Umesh Kole and Kanhaiya Lal were killed because some people took offense, and we are sitting here and saying things go haywire.
It was wrong.
Sir, okay.
Why are you telling us this?
You're saying it was
wrong? I don't
wrong?
support it. Why are you telling us this?
It was a bloody crime. And it was shameful that at that time, the woman who was hounded into hiding was blamed for what was happening around here. And today, just because a bunch of people are saying, we're not okay, we're going to push back. But here's the thing, and Karan Verma, my principal discomfort is, I think it's okay for people to push back, to say we are not going to accept it. But when we start crossing the line, when we file FIRs, when we hit the streets and say, hum ye nahi sahenge and all of that, you are starting to enter the same territory where the anti-Nupur Sharma protests were. Are we becoming the same fringe which you are against?
There's no call for violence or something of that sort. You mentioned about Kanhaiya Lalji. By the way,
but there's a call for a ban. Why should it be banned?
Of course it should be.
It may be a stupid film, it may have a bad title, but why should it be banned?
You can't abuse a community and draw this stereotype and beam it to the global audience through Netflix and reinforce the stereotype. That's downright derogatory. And by the way, you mentioned about Kanhaiya Lalji. When Udaipur Files was made, this entire Mandali, Vivek ji and everyone asked for the ban of Udaipur Files also, where it was showing facts. As Tausif says, at least you should not tinker with facts. It was a fact that how Kanhaiya Lalji was killed at that time. The problem, Padmaja, is these people, Nasir Abdullah ji said it's all going haywire. He is going haywire. He can't stomach the fact that their romantic idea of cinema, where Mughals were shown as, oh, they became us, where today we have history to show how Akbar killed 30,000 Hindus. This Salim was showing as this feather-toying, romantic, hopeless romantic. He burnt our Guru Arjan Dev Ji live. They cannot tolerate something like Chhava coming out, which for the first time shows their real face. They cannot tolerate something like Durandar, which shows that yes, there were chants of Narayan Takbir when something as hideous as 2611 was hatched. That is their problem. Truth stares them in the face and they cannot take it.
Tehsil.
Aurangzeb's grandmother is a Rajput.
One at a time. Tehsil, yes.
Padmaja, we've become a nation that gets offended very easily. So you have the right-wing people and the left-wing people, and it's all hypocrisy. You remember during Padmavat in your former channel, the Karni Sena came with a sword. There was violence where I had to move Supreme Court, where they were stoned a bus. You have violence with Nupur Sharma. I stood up for Nupur Sharma. The problem, Padmaja, is everybody is a bunch of hypocrites, including those who are today defending this movie. And Karan is right. Nasir Saab was on TV saying that Kerala story should be banned. I'm putting this out on your channel. Today, Nasir Saab is here on your show defending this freedom of speech. He was there. The other part, the VHP friends and all love Akshay Kumar. Akshay Kumar meets Prime Minister and they say he's abusing Sanatana Dharma. And the Prime Minister entertains him. What I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, let us have rules. If people are offended, fine. They have a right to protest. That protest cannot be violent. Please protest, but FIR, sending people to jail, wanting bans, etc., will become will become a ban karo gang. Do you want satanic verses?
And I'm completely with you on that. But this particular stand should be echoed even when somebody wants to tell the story of Udaipur files, when they want to tell the story of Kashmir files, when they want to tell the story of Kerala. And more importantly, I guarantee you, we will hear howls of protest in a week from now because a film on the 100 years of RSS is coming out. I will get this same panel and I guarantee you, these same people will be saying, this is an umbrage to civilized society. This film should not be allowed to release. It's a communally charged film. So listen, my friends, I want free speech. I think people, if they are outraged, should have peaceful pushback. There should be no bans, but please hold everyone to the same standard. And when we talk about selective portrayal, I want to leave you with two images, which is thanks, and I want to give them full credit, to Gems of Bollywood. One of them was actually mentioned by Karan earlier. There's a film called The Cheat. I think it came out in the 70s. Gems of Bollywood has pointed out how this particular poster was made. I don't see the reason behind it. And then the other film was Ponga Pandit. Again, the caricaturizing of Pandits in this fashion as foolish, as stupid, and as cheats. Is this intentional? Is this something that just happened to, fly under the radar, so it went unchallenged? Well, I have news for you. Now it is being challenged and people are listening. Politicians also are forced to listen, but it always must be peaceful. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, for having joined me.